weeks till playoff time. Your Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders welcome the Aurora University Spartans to town for a Friday night fight. With teams neck and neck for coveted home ice advantage in the NCHA, every game is magnified. And hello again, everyone. High above the ice here at the Kern Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, alongside Aaron Sims, voice of the Milwaukee Admirals. I'm Frank Zawrazky. The Raiders stood tall against the Marian University Sabres last Saturday by a 3-1 score. Mary Francis, and spoiler, we'll hear more on her later, caught the opposition lacking on a Raider line change before going under the bar at .350 with helpers from Lilo Emerson and Hannah Baumann. Marian struck back on the power play in the first 2 minutes of the second period, but fortunately for MSOE, that was all the scoring they'd allow. Special teams made the difference for the Raiders in this contest. Hannah Baumann scored the go-ahead goal on a trickle-through power play marker at 10:42 from Mary Francis Williams and Lilo Emerson. Finally, the Raiders drew a penalty while the Sabres pulled their goalie. Gray Mandia delivered the dagger from Nadia Buck and Emerson with 12 seconds to go, closing out this contest 3-1. Aaron, what do the Raiders need to replicate from that Marian win in order to be successful tonight?
Well, one thing is certainly the special teams, right, Frank? The special teams, obviously a big part of hockey no matter where you are. When you look at the power play for MSOE, fourth in the NCHA, just over 20%. They need to continue that success tonight against an Aurora team that is dead last in the penalty kill at 72.7%. So power play needs to work, and they need to stay out of the penalty box. They don't take a heck of a lot of penalties, neither does Aurora. When you get those chances, you have to take advantage, whether you're the Raiders or whether you're Aurora.
Precisely that, Aaron, and just talking about Aurora, we head now to our Across the Aisle segment where we talk about the opposition, and tonight it is the Aurora University Spartans. Aurora's offense hinges mainly on one player, and that's Jillian Billsborough. And, Aaron, how important has she been to this offense for the Spartans?
She's been the offense. It's pretty amazing what Billsborough has done compared to everybody else. She's tied for 15th in the NCHA in goals. She has 11 points. You're talking about a team that has scored 1.6 goals per game this year. She has 7 of the team's goals in 20 games this season for Aurora. A big part of the offense. You slow her down, you slow that top line down with her, Kara Cook, and Samira Schmidt, and you're cooking right now if you're MSOE. And
that's exactly what the Raiders need to do, and Billsborough hasn't scored in 4 games, right. Aaron. You know, how do you kind of get into the head of the opposition to keep her off the score sheet?
Well, for her, they want to get her going, right? She drives the offense. They're going to get her out there a lot. Now, it's going to be interesting with the Raiders having the home ice, how they match things up. Do they match up with the forwards? A lot of times what happens is you match up with the defensive pairing. So I'm expecting Amy McDonald, one of 3 seniors in this Raiders lineup, and Sarah Kupf. And between the two of them, they have 48 block shots this season. They've been fantastic. The top 2 shot blockers on this MSOE team. Put those 2 young ladies out there across from this Billsborough line. You could see a couple of players defensively playing 30 minutes or so here tonight.
Exactly, and you talked about that special teams for Aurora. Dead last in the penalty kill with 72%. They're 9th place with a 9% power play. Just, you got to feed off of that tonight at your MSOE, Aaron.
If you're the Raiders, you don't want to allow it, right? First off, you stay out of the penalty box, but second, you don't want to give them – they're struggling to score goals to begin with. They've struggled on the power play. You don't want this to be the night that their power play starts to click.
And one of those players that MSOE can lean on is our Raider to watch tonight, Mary Francis Williams, gaining momentum in her offensive game, especially as of late. Senior forward, 14 points in her past 10 games, while also riding a 3-game streak. And what makes Williams so dangerous, Aaron, is her vision. It allows her to split multiple defenders or pass to great effect. I mean, we saw that on the opening goal last game.
Yeah, tied for 6th in the league in assists with 14, 22 points, which tied for 9th in points. And as you mentioned, the streak she's on over the last 10, she has been a big key for this Raiders team. And again, We talk about your best players being your best players, especially this time of year, as you're fighting, as you're jockeying for playoff position. She's one to watch, as you said.
And no doubt she'll be on a line with Hannah Baumann. I mean, Hannah Baumann, 18 points in the past 14 games, tied for third in the conference with goals. That's a lethal combination. Let's head now to the 3 keys to the game from assistant coach Marie Dieter. We wish head coach Bailey Marabella the best on her maternity leave.
Yes.
I know you've known her for many years. Just a heart and soul kind of coach, Aaron.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's just the second year of this program, where they went from year 1 to where they are this year. It's a really, really remarkable jump.
Yeah, we head into Coach Dieter's keys. Number 1, keep it simple, play within our systems. And I think that kind of goes back to what you were talking about. They're already struggling to score goals. That is Aurora. So if you play your systems as MSOE, you should be in good shape.
Well, and you should worry more about what you do. Do what you do as well as you possibly can. Work on your things as you get to the postseason. Don't struggle and worry so much about what the other team does. Be assertive.
Exactly, and that leads right into the key number 2 from Coach Dieter, play with intention.
Yes.
MSOE, they're jockeying for that 4th and final home ice playoff spot. For those not familiar, the top 4 teams in the NCHA get home ice advantage on both the men's and women's side, and Lake Forest plays St. Norbert tonight, so that can only help MSOE.
Yeah.
And, just looking at playing with the intention, the ferocity that this team has showed all year, Aaron.
Well, and that's just it. You need to keep that up, right? Don't worry about the other team's record. Don't worry about their statistics. The games aren't won and lost by statistics. They're won and lost by how you play on the ice. So you need to worry about that. Beat the teams below you and chase the teams ahead of you, and hopefully they lose, like you said, that matchup tonight.
Yeah, and that leads right into our 3rd key to the game, protect the middle of the ice. MSOE loves to use that middle of the ice. They love their diagonal passes from blue line to blue line. What do you look for in terms of protecting the ice tonight, specifically the center?
Well, yeah, and obviously you don't want a team to build up speed through the neutral zone to get into the offensive zone. You mentioned that Billsboro line at the outset. You slow them down somehow through the neutral zone, and just good puck support. It doesn't necessarily have to be the home run pass all the time, but play quickly. That doesn't mean skate fast. That means move the puck with, again, going back to your 2nd key, move the puck with intention. Move it quickly, get up ice as soon as you can.
Let's head into the starting lineups. First for the visiting Aurora University Spartans. At left wing, number 18, the aforementioned Jillian Billsboro. At center, number 8, Kara Cook. At right wing, one of 2 sisters on this roster, Samira Schmidt. On left defense, number 33, Peyton Dykstra. And at right defense, number 17, Kiki Schmidt. For your MSO Raiders, the top line starts again, Aaron. Mary Frances Williams, number 34, starts at left wing. Her center, Hannah Baumann, number 21. And her right wing, Gabby Heiser. Those 3 have been absolutely lethal this season.
Yeah, and that needs to obviously continue. Again, this is the time of year you want your best players to be your best players. As cliche as that sounds, there's a reason for cliches.
Specifically, looking at those defensive pairings that you talked about earlier, Sarah Kupf and Amy McDonald on defense, left and right respectively. They're going to be blocking a lot of shots tonight, Aaron.
They have so far all season long. We mentioned 25 for Kupf, 23 for McDonald. They have been very, very good.
Let's head now to the starting goaltending matchup. First, for the Aurora University Spartans, Macy Blooming, the Milwaukee native. She is a freshman starting in net for these Spartans through 6 games played, 6-13, 1 shutout, a .913 save percentage, and a 2.99 goals allowed average. For the Raiders, the senior star in net, Jenna Kent, 12 games played, 6-4, the first shutout in program history, occurring all the way back on November 8th versus Lawrence. She has a .923 save percentage and a 2.33 goals allowed average. Frank Zawrazky alongside Aaron Sims will step away for about 5 minutes. National anthem almost upon us. Raiders and Spartans this Friday night.